Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ringwoods for another stream session today. We're picking up at the end of last week's, right at the end of last week's stream. All I've done is slept through the night, so it's middle of June. I've got a harvest contract to do on field 11, which I'm going to do straight away. And then I'm going to collect the straw and everything from the field as well and bring that back to the farm, so we've got that. Then I'm going to take Mr. Cedar over to field 4, which I harvested last week, which is obviously our field. And I'm going to get the oilseed radish whacked on that, slapped on that, ready for when we do our next big, when ready for ploughing the fields before we plant our next crops. Because we did barley on both of the fields that were harvested last week. So we harvested big field 3 and field 4. Both of those were barley. So according to the crop rotation planner, my next crop should be corn. And according to the growth calendar, I can't plant that till April. That's a long time to leave those fields with oilseed radish just sitting on them. But if we want to get the best yield from our harvest, we have to follow the planner. So we'll set the fields up as per the planner and we'll get out of the way. The other option, of course, would be to plant potatoes, because that's another crop I could follow barley up with. However, I can only plant that in March. So, doesn't really make a blind bit of difference to me, really. Truthfully, whether I do corn or potatoes, I've still got to wait till next year. Right, now I have had some fun and games since last week's stream. For the ever observant people out there, you will have noticed that when I put the VOD on the YouTube channel on Saturday, it wasn't in HD. YouTube was taking ages to process the video, and I do mean ages. Okay. In fact, the video went live and it still hadn't processed the HD, even though it had like 2 full days to do so. And then I noticed yesterday it still wasn't in HD. So what I did, I went to Twitch and I downloaded the VOD off of Twitch myself, downloaded it to my PC, and I re-uploaded it last night to YouTube. And when I got up this morning, it's uploaded, it's processed, it's available in HD. So all I've done is just copied all the information from Saturday's video to the video, the new upload, and I've set that live on the channel today. So there is a HD version of last week's stream now on the channel. Also, as of today, I've put a tutorial on the YouTube channel which shows you how to install the paintable field creation mods, the field create mods. A nice little, it's only about 20 minutes, 25 minutes long, very short tutorial which shows you how to install it and how it works. So if you want to give that a go, feel free to jump on the YouTube channel and give those a watch at a time that's convenient to you. And of course today we'll crack on with Ringwoods action here. It's going to rain at some point today, which is why I want to get this harvest finished as quickly as possible before the rain comes, because we can do the seeding and stuff in the rain. That's not going to be a problem. But obviously I want to give the I want to get the straw collected, because obviously I was thinking of buying this field, and the reason I was thinking of buying this field is because it would be nice to be able to chuck on a few more of the DD, couple more DD greenhouse. I'd like to have a few more DD greenhouses, not just the ones with hoops, but the actual proper greenhouses that make all the, you know, lettuces, tomatoes, strawberries and stuff. I wouldn't mind having a few of those. And there's also, I think, a couple of buildings that I need as well. A couple more of the factory mods that I need. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. I'm sure anyone who's watched last week's stream will come and give me the reminder. Same way as if there was something I was meant to change or edit in last week's stream that I said, oh, I'll do that after I've streamed. I'll go and edit that and change that after the stream. I forgot to do that. So if anyone can remind me what I need to change and edit from last week, let me know. Because I've completely forgotten. Or if there was a mod I was meant to install and activate on the save, I've forgotten. It's been a long week, ladies and gents, since last week's stream. A lot has happened. Especially with all the map testing I did last week for Stevie on his Hills View. Getting all the fields on that map tested out, farmed, worked, ploughed, cultivated, seeded, planted, harvested, etc. And it works brilliantly. I love Stevie's map, and I love the open version of Stevie's map that he's released, the one with no fields, so you can put your own fields on the map. That works very well with the paintable field mod that I did the tutorial on. If you use that mod on Stevie's open fields map, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, we'll quickly harvest all this. Like I say, we've got the added bonus because we're going to get the straw, which is going to be very good for our animals. Like I say, of which we've got the additional cows now, the additional cow pen after last week. I like the fact that it looks like my animal pens have kind of recovered a little bit. I do notice that with this animal put my teeth in enhanced animal system mod, that when we get a large number of animals, like the chickens especially, when they reproduce and you get a ton of them, when you go to sell them, it kind of glitches out in the game and you get left with like a row that says 0 chickens. And whenever you go to the animal pen and try to sell them or move them, it tells you you have selected too many animals. But I've noticed if you exit the game and reload it, it clears it. It's just a temporary, for some reason it's just a temporary glitch in the game. I think it's because normally in obviously the normal game, you can't transport chickens in the vanilla farm sim game. Giants don't allow chicken transportation and moving them in with trailers. So the animal trailer mod enables that, and I wonder if it's just a little bit of a glitch with that mod because the way you're emptying the pen with a trailer rather than just selling the chickens. But either way, it's fixed, and until the next batch of chickens gets here, the next massive intake of chickens happens, we don't need to worry too much about that. We're probably not going to be doing anything with the butcher for a while. Our pigs are a long way from reproducing at the minute, so we're not going to get any baby pigs. We're not going to get any baby cows either for a while, so I have to worry about moving and transporting, so that's all good. Food wise, I think everybody's fairly happy. Don't need to feed anybody. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is that grain on the cows. Still. And why the robot isn't, you know, supplying them with the mineral feed that they need in their total mixed ration stuff. Because the robot's giving them TMR, but it's not, for some reason, giving them the grain element. Which I think is probably down to the way Stevie's got the animals XML coded. Because obviously the cows are supposed to eat grass and alfalfa as the main like thing, and then I think it's or silage, and then I think it's dry grass, dry alfalfa as the secondary one, and then it's supposed to be mineral feed is the third food option. But obviously when you're mixing TMR with hay, straw and silage. So straw is being used instead of mineral feed in the TMR recipe. And I wonder if that's why you're just getting that, why there's that little bit of a issue there in the food. Because straw obviously does not count towards the mineral feed, grain element of the cow's food. Yeah, that 20%, the 20% grain element there. So it's silage, hay, and mineral feed. That's what that page should say, silage, hay, mineral feed. And obviously straw isn't mineral feed. So when the robot is giving the cows TMR, it's not actually giving them 100% production, because the straw is not a food type on this particular map. The cows don't eat the straw. So I'm not quite sure what happens with the straw that's in the TMR, whether that counts towards their bedding when the robot tips it, I don't know. I think you either need to remove the mineral feed from the equation and change it back to something else. Maybe put grass in there, and maybe drop the hay and dry alfalfa down a level, drop the grass and stuff down a row, and then put total mixed ration back in as the top element there. Or you need to change the recipe for TMR on the map and have it so it requires hay, silage, mineral feed. Wrong way. There's my trailer. Oh, there's my loading wagon. That's my loading wagon. Well, we are going to need that. We are. So, I will bring that down to the field. Hello, chickens. But I need to obviously... I think it's the fast track I need to jump into. I think that's got my grain cart. The trailer. Of course, I didn't do this with... I haven't harvested using course play, so I'm going to have to do all the straw collection by hand. Not a problem in and of itself. My trailer is parked over here. Because I think the last thing I did last week was just move some stuff around from my silos. I think I took like my olives from the silo to the oil mill. To use. And then on the way back I parked the trailer over here because I accepted this contract as like the last thing that I did last week. I went around all the productions last week and had a look, and they're all running, they're all producing. I sold a couple of items from outside some of the places, but like the wine factory's producing stuff for the first time, so I've not done anything with that. Right then, kiddie, you've got a couple of rows to do. Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trust a Giant's worker to try and do this job. Hopefully it works. And I can then jump in and do my straw collecting. And like I say, we'll take this, chuck it in the silo, and then from the silo we can distribute it then to whomever and wherever needs it. Like I say, when it comes time to harvest my own fields again, whatever my next fields are that we'll be harvesting, I will be sure to create a courseplay course, especially if it's a field that's going to give me straw. I will harvest with courseplay, so I can use the same harvester course on the loading wagon, and then I can have courseplay drive the loading wagon for me and collect the straw. And then that frees me up to carry on with some other tasks, like getting fields re-prepped, re-ploughed, re-sorted. I am going to need some fuel after this job. The big case magnum is half empty. Because yeah, I was going to put all the straw, I said last week I was going to put all the straw in, obviously in the silo. And then I've got the truck parked over there with my big trailer to do the distribution of all things straw. And when I need to get rid of the slurry, I've got the DD factory. I've got the DD trailer, which I can go and grab and bring over, like for emptying the slurry from the pigs, the 2 pig pens and the cows, because that holds like 180,000 litres, so that will get me emptied a lot faster. Probably sling it in the manure mixer. But yeah, I would like to buy this field at some point in the not too distant future. I'm going to have to probably do some terrain flattening, levelling and adjustmenting. Because I would like to put some production buildings on the map. Like I say, greenhouses. Maybe another thing with hoops. I know I've got Stevie's greenhouses up and running, and they are producing vegetables, lettuces, tomatoes, strawberries. But obviously I need the DD greenhouses as well, which produce all the extra stuff. And also produce a little bit faster. and I've got the option of using the recipes with the manure, so I can add manure to the greenhouses and get extra items produced as well. And then all my like I say, all my factory goodies then will be running. But yeah, it's all going very nicely. I really am enjoying this map. Somebody has given me a thank you over on Stevie's Facebook page for posting my tutorial of the paintable fields mod, and Desposito LS has just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Desposito LS. Welcome to the YouTube. If you're not already following me here on the Twitch, you perhaps want to come and jump over on Twitch as well. Follow me on here and you can watch me live. And you can join in on the chat. And talk to me as I'm playing, keep me company while I'm driving up and down these fields. I would say you could keep me sane, but I'm long past that. My sanity went years ago. It did. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody's week been up till now? This is today's hump day. Apparently everyone's like, happy hump day, and I didn't understand what that was, because obviously here in the UK hump has a different meaning. as several meanings, and I was thinking, hump day? Okay. And I was like, I think some people are sharing far too much information about their private lives. But it turns out, the reason it's hump day is because obviously it's the middle of the week. And this is like the hump. And once you get past today, it's all downhill till the weekend. The week's getting shorter, the weekend's approaching. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense than this being like globally recognised day for everyone to engage in rumpy-pumpy action with somebody. I mean, I'm not saying you can't combine the two. But yeah, hump day. Happy hump day, everybody. I've learnt a new term. I just messaged somebody that. Because I've seen them posting it, and I was always a bit like, I see them posting it on their social media, happy hump day, and I've always been a bit like, eyebrow raising? And yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I now understand what that means. It wasn't what I thought it was, so yeah. Okay, the harvester stopped before it's finished harvesting correctly, so we'll just finish that field edge myself. It's strange that the harvester manages to position itself there. It manages to get itself into that position. Orion, how is it going? It's going very well, thank you, Orion. How are you doing today? On this lovely Wednesday. I hope it's a lovely Wednesday for you. It's bright and sunny here in the UK at the minute. Lovely blue sky, not a cloud tarnishing it. Lovely afternoon. A little bit, it's nice and warm as well. Oh yeah. Perfect day for doing some farm simming. Just getting this contract finished on this field. Then we can go and start seeding our own field with the oilseed radish. I'm just going to collect the straw quick. I've only got 3 rows to do. Then I will finish that edge of the field. It's sunny. Going to try that paint tool thingy again. Failed big an hour ago. No worries. Like I say, if you follow my tutorial video, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. The only problem area where you can stumble is if the map author has changed the name of the map XML or has called it something different, and you don't edit the correct file. That's about the only way you can get it wrong. Or if you don't put the files, the actual tool XMLs and the image files in the right place. Because if you try putting them in a different folder, you'll need to change the file paths. That when you pasted the code into the mod description XML in the store items section, you will need to change the links to the files. If you've put those files in a different folder. If you just put them in the root of the zip file, it works without a problem. And like I say, then when you go in game, you just need to be checking under plants instead of painting. Because if you go to the painting section, it doesn't show up. And that did leave me scratching my head for quite some time. I was logging in and out of the game backwards and forwards because I was like, I've followed the instructions exactly to the letter. I don't know where I've gone wrong, but the files, the tools aren't showing up. And then I just happened to look in the paints menu, in the plants menu should I say, and there they are at the end. And I guess that's why they don't remove the grass when you use the when you actually use the tools. It doesn't remove the meadow grass because it's classed as a plant, and plants don't overwrite plants when you're painting. But it's not a problem because, like I say, if you paint your field down, the first time you go over the field with any tool, like a seeder or cultivator or anything like that, it removes all the grass anyway. Because I know some people were like, oh, if I paint the ground first, if I repaint the ground first, you know, if I repaint the ground first with like just the blank grass texture, you know, if I just do that, that's costing me money just to paint that. So yeah, you know, I would say ignore that. You don't have to. I just did it on the tutorial just so people could see it and see it happening. But obviously in game yourself, you can just come in, grab your whichever tool you want, and make your field. Make your field. The only reason why I can, you know, it didn't cost me anything is because I use the free landscaping mod. The free landscaping tools mod. So any painting or terrain altering I do, I don't get charged for it. But yeah, I did that over on I used it over on field 6, because when I had that issue painting field 6, when I was painting my border around field 6, because the camera collision glitched out a bit here because of the trees, I ended up putting some of this border on my field. So obviously once I installed that create field mod, I just came in here with the plow tool and painted it down. So I fixed it. So when I harvest this field later in the year and then obviously plough it, you'll never notice that I messed up the field. You'll never know that I broke it. Well, apart from those of you that have been here from the beginning of the series and saw me break it. But yeah, I think that's a great mod, that paintable field mod. I think it's going to be very useful for a lot of people, and I'm certainly going to be installing it going forward on every map that I download. I'm going to add it to every map I download because I think it's very useful. Because although I do enjoy creating fields manually and I do enjoy altering fields manually, when you have to alter every single field on a map, it can get a little bit tiresome. And it can get a little bit old fast, having to do it with a plough. Whereas at least with the tool, you can alter every field pretty quickly. Right, that's all the straw collected. Bet that. Dump it. I'm also going to very tactically, for a moment, leave that vehicle parked there for the very simple reason it will prevent me from tipping the crop from that field into my silo, and it will help me to remember that I'm doing a contract and I actually need to tip this crop at the contracted sell point. The last thing I want to do is steal another farmer's crop. I don't want to steal the farmer's crop. So that will remind me in a minute, after I've emptied the harvester, that we're not tipping at my silo. I'm not going to bother dropping straw on that tiny little edge. I will just put the blower on. Could the round shaped field brush make a round corner in a revised paintable field? It certainly can, John. It certainly can. If you have the round tool, enabled, I would say don't make it massive, because the bigger you make it, I noticed the more jagged the edge tends to be. So I would say use a slightly smaller tool for the round corners and just go. And when you're painting, go very, very slowly. Don't go like really fast with it. I would say zoom in as well. Zooming in seems to help with the cursor speed. If you zoom out, if you're zoomed out and you move the cursor, obviously it moves really fast. So if you zoom in, again, I'm playing with controller. You might be using keyboard and mouse, I don't know. But certainly if you're playing with controller, if you zoom in and move the cursor, it moves a lot slower. You tend to get a much smoother, again, you won't get the jagged edges all on the out. You won't get as much jaggies on the outside of the corner. Again, it's not a massive problem if you do get jaggies. It's more about obviously the radius of the corner itself and the slope of the corner. The less sharp the corner is, the better for course play and things like that. And if your field does have jagged edges, the easy way to take care of that when you're doing your course play course is just set the field margin to -236, just so course play just overlaps the edge a little bit, and it will just take care of any of the jaggy bits when you're harvesting or seeding or whatever. It's not a problem. And the first time you plough the field, the first time you come to plough the field, if you're using course play, you could just tick the enable field creation option on the course play on the plough, and then as the course play guy does the headland, the last headland round the outside of the field, he'll tidy the edge up as well. He can tidy the edge up a little bit as well and remove some of those jaggies. So it's not a massive problem. Honestly, that tool is a great time saver. Massive time saver. So thank you to John for pointing me to it and making me aware of it. Or reminding me of it, because I had seen it and completely forgot about it. until you got on about the paintable foliages and stuff. And then obviously, hopefully now I've done the tutorial video today showing people how to install it and everything. And I've posted that video on Stevie's Facebook group. Hopefully more players there will see it and share it, and more people can benefit from that mod. It's strange because it's a prefab mod, and it's not just a mod that you download, activate in your mod list and start playing. It's amazing how it's not really covered. You look at all the people on, like, all the content creators and YouTubers that do mod reviews and things like that. None of them have ever talked about that mod. None of them have ever mentioned it or give it, because it's, you know, it's not just something you just plug, you just load in game and download in game and off you go sort of thing. Because it's not a mod like that, they don't talk about it. And I think it's a really, I don't know why Giants haven't put that in the game, because it's such a simple thing. Why haven't Giants given us that option in the landscaping menu? Be able to paint fields. You know? We can paint and remove fields. Why not let us paint and create fields? Right, let's go get the JCB. We'll take that crop to the sell point. I'm not going to buy field 11 today. Because there's a good chance that now we've harvested this field, we might get like a ploughing or cultivating contract for the field. And that's another chance for me to earn a little bit of money. Doing a bit of work. And then buy the field. Anything that helps me make this field cheaper. And of course, by doing the contract, I'm going to get a discount on the field anyway. So if I do 2 contracts on this field, I get double the discount. Yes, I will definitely level this field, be leveling this field on stream. What I might do 2 levels, because obviously there's obviously a significant difference in height between the top of the field and the bottom. So I might do it on I might do 2 levels, 2 separate levels, and I can have obviously some productions on one level, some productions on another level. We've still got access from the road over here, so that's not a problem. We can access the lower level from here. We can access the higher level from the top. Won't be a problem. I've just got to try and remember what it is. Yes, with a ramp between the... You see, I wasn't thinking of doing a ramp. I was thinking of just leaving it. Put a bit of a stone texture. Put a bit of a stone texture across it. Across the bit of stone texture across the front wall. And then add a fence on the top so you can't drive off and crash. And just leave it as 2 levels, you know. I mean, a ramp wouldn't be tough to make, because obviously you would use the the slope tool to make the ramp. It's just I find that ramps take up quite a bit of space. You know. I didn't get that. Could you try again? Shut up. To keep the obviously ramp angle from being too steep, you obviously need to move it far enough out from the wall, if you like, the start point, to keep the angle fairly shallow so that the vehicles aren't struggling to get up it. And I think if you move it out too far, you're going to lose area where you can place things. And I want to maximise the placeable area. I want to get as many placeables on this field as possible when I come to put it down, because I'm going to want several greenhouses. I want some more greenhouses with hoops, and I want the factory, whatever factories I'm currently missing from the DD pack, I want to be able to add those as well to this field. So I've got there's quite a bit I want to put on this field, so I don't want to lose too much. I don't want to lose too much land doing ramps and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see when I get round to it. We'll have a think, you know. What we'll do is we'll have a day like the local council, where we all gather round, we put on our high-vis vests, we have our clipboards, and we stand there looking at the field, and we all nod our heads a bit, and ah, yeah. We do that for several hours, and then we clear off, and we don't do anything then for several months. You know. Right, we've got to go to Johnson's Farmers Market. So we will tag that as a place to visit. So that there, thought it was. And like I say, I'm just going to tip everything in this trailer. We're not going to bother. We're not going to bother too much worrying about trying to keep anything for our own use. Not at all. I've got the harvest done just in time, because, like I say, here comes the rain, everybody. We got the rain. Hello, butcher's shop with my fine pallets of meat outside. Contract is complete, and we've received an additional 5% discount from Samuel Ortega for future field purchases. Well, thank you, Samuel. I appreciate that 5% discount. It's going to come in very handy when I come to buy your field off of you. Like I say, if you want that field ploughing or cultivating, wink wink, I'll be happy to do that as well, to get another 5% discount. Because, you know, 10% discount on your field would be even better. Did I empty everything the other day? I did. I got the manure. I might leave that just there. Again, now I've got 2 cow pens, 2 pig pens. The manure tends to fill up quite quickly on the map. As does my slurry. Like I say, we don't have any animals to transport today. We don't. But maybe in July we should get some new animals. So we'll probably have some animals to take to the butchers in July. But for now, we want Mr. Seeder because we need to go and seed field 4. Which is our oilseed radish. Which will be oilseed radish. And then I need to leave that on there till next year. Because we can't plant corn until April. Or, thinking about it now, I perhaps don't want double crop, do I? I don't really want to do barley and barley. Or, I don't want to, we had barley and barley this year. I perhaps don't want to double crop. We probably want to plant separate crops on those fields. So looking at the crop calendar again, I could actually do corn on one field and potatoes on the other. So maybe here on field 3 next year, we do a big potato seeding. And that will give us a massive potato harvest next year. And that will give us all the potatoes we'll ever need to do pig food. As well as make French fries and potato chips and stuff like that. So yeah. That might be a better plan, actually. That might be a better long-term solution. Because obviously we've got the same crop planted on these 2 fields as well. That's not ideal, but they're actually probably the smallest fields I've got. So on those 2 fields it probably makes sense to grow the same crop on both of them, because I'm not going to get a massive yield off one of them. Off just one field, so the 2 of them together kind of bulks up my harvest a little bit, But yeah, we're going to do some oilseed radishing today. And the reason for planting the oilseed radish now is when I actually come round then to plough the oilseed radish in, that's when I can do my rounded corners and my adjustments that I want to do. So we'll do all the field adjustments then, when I actually have to plough in the all the stuff. We won't worry about doing it now. I'm also hoping I seed this field a lot better than I did last time. Because obviously we missed quite a few bits on this field. I'm hoping now I've been over the whole field with the smooth tool, it should seed fine. We shouldn't have any issues, but you never know. Oh, that's slow. Up this hill. Welcome to Hills View. Hills View's even worse. Now's not the time for you to lag, game. Whilst I'm driving round my corners. Also, another very good reason for not doing my field adjustments today is because even though I installed the lovely ploughs, the plough mods that John sent me on the Discord, I forgot to actually activate them in the mod list before I loaded the game. So I don't have access to his modified ploughs to test out. And I didn't want to exit the game and reload it after logging in at the start of the video. So that's another reason why I'm going to leave the ploughing for another day. So I can actually remember to turn on the mods. I'm also I don't know if Mr. Sneaky's going to be on the multiplayer map tonight or not. I know he wasn't on last night, but I might not be on the multiplayer map tonight in Farm Sim, because obviously I normally don't stream after I've done Ringwoods, because if I spend, you know, 4 or 5 hours this afternoon streaming Farm Sim, I don't want to really play it again after I've had my dinner. I like to do something a little bit different in the evening. So tonight, possibly, after I've had my dinner and I come back and do a bit of a stream this evening, I might have a look at the new Hogwarts game that came out yesterday. I did load it up very briefly last night, but I never really got to play it much because I was being distracted by things. And although I set out with every intention in the world to play for a couple of hours this morning before loading up Farm Sim and doing this stream, again, real life things happened and I never got a chance to play this morning. So I might have a bit of a play this afternoon, tonight. I might even play a little bit more of that Uncharted game that I was playing on Monday night on stream, because it's just something a bit different from Farm Sim. It's a bit of a change of pace and change of scenery, and keeps everything a little bit fresh for me. Especially as I did quite a lot of recording yesterday for my New Jersey series on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing some recording on New Jersey tomorrow as well. I'm going to get another 3 videos recorded tomorrow, and then I'll have all of February's content uploaded on the YouTube channel. I'll be ahead. I'll be a couple of weeks ahead of myself, which is fantastic. Pat on the back for me for being organised and disciplined and getting the work done. So then I might be able to have a look at doing some slightly different things on a couple of days now for the rest of the month, and having a look at some different things and that on stream. There's obviously Wild Dynasty coming out the end of next week, which I will be definitely having a look at on stream, because I've played Medieval Dynasty last year and really enjoyed that game. So it'd be interesting to see how all that building and stuff works in the new game, with the new, obviously, time period and everything, and what things your character can do in that game to help with the survival and growing a community and growing a settlement and everything. Apparently, so someone told me the other day that you have the option of becoming a bounty hunter in the game. That might be pretty fun. Because I must admit, when I played Red Dead Redemption 2, I really liked the bounty hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2. I liked playing my Arthur Morgan as a good guy. I didn't want him to be evil. I actually wish very early on in that game I could have just left the whole Van der Linde gang and just gone off and done my own thing. Gone out, set out on my own and tried to become a, a law-abiding citizen. I know most people will be like, hang on a minute, you played Red Dead and you tried to play it as a law-abiding citizen. What are you, some kind of freak? But I guess even when I was a kid and I played cowboys and when I played cowboys and Indians as a kid, with me cat guns and stuff with me friends, I used to always be a good cowboy then as well, and it just kind of, it just seemed to fit with me in Red Dead. I tried to spend as little time as possible at the camp with the rest of the gang, doing all the gang story stuff. I just went out on my own and did hunting and fishing and all that kind of stuff in the game. And apparently Wild West Dynasty is exactly that. So could be a really good game for me. I just want to lower my seed again. Let me lower the seeder, that's it. Third time lucky trying to seed. I know I'm overlapping, but it's alright, we're not using seed, we're not using any fertilizer, we're definitely not using fertilizer in the seeder. So I'm not wasting seed because we don't put seed down where we've already seeded. But it's just so I can start now following the GPS line. Just tidy up this row a bit and then I can obviously start working me up and downs. Oh, John, what have you done? What have you done, John? You've got yourself timed out there. What did you post? You have to remember the Twitch bot is very, very ridiculous. I never knew about NVIDIA Broadcast 1.4 and the dynamically track features. Is this useful at all in FS2 single player? Curious, worth install, or just adds buggy behaviour into FS22? I don't know why Stream Elements has timed you out for that. That seems a bit naughty. Where's Stream Elements? I need to find out why Stream Elements has done that. I still haven't really played around with Stream Elements much since I switched to that last year, so I really haven't checked what their moderation tools are and all that stuff. I mean, the spam filter protection is set to minimum on the channel, and all the other, like caps protection, link protection, emote protection, symbol protection, is set to ignore subscribers. So as long as you're a channel subscriber, you shouldn't get affected by any of those commands. But I can see what you posted in the in my chat log, and I don't see why Stream Elements has considered that a removable thing, unless it thought the 1 point, you were trying to post a link using the 1.4 thing, because it gets a bit funny about decimal points and no spaces after decimal points because it thinks people are writing links. Or it might have been the fact that it thought you was, I wanted to describe that as an excessive paragraph, but you never know. I never knew about the NVIDIA broadcast one and a dynamically track. Is this useful at all in FS2 single player? Dynamic tracking, it's only for webcams. It only affects webcams. So if I'm moving around in my webcam, it tries to keep me in the center of the frame and follow me. It has absolutely no effect on the game. It doesn't have any effect on the game, because obviously I use it when I'm recording my videos. I'm using it now when I'm streaming. It doesn't have any gameplay functionality. Are you thinking about something like Track IR, or what's the other one? There's Track IR, and there's also something else, isn't there? You can use for simulator games for moving the camera. No, NVIDIA Broadcast won't affect those, because in NVIDIA Broadcast there's a drop-down box, and you select what source you want what the effect applied to. So obviously I've selected my webcam because I want it doing the automatic tracking on my webcam. It won't affect any other sources. So if you have got Track IR plugged in, or like I say, whatever it is, whatever the other thing is, I can't remember the name of it. Mr. Helgi knows, because I think Mr. Helgi's got it. He uses it when he's playing Train Sim and Truck Sim, and I think Elite Dangerous. I've got Track IR. I bought Track IR because Mr. Helgi told me to get it because it's fantastic. I installed it on my computer once. I tried to use it in, I think it was in Truck Simulator, and I couldn't get on with it for the simple reason I move around all the time while I'm playing. I don't sit dead still, not moving. I'm always fidgeting around in my chair and relaxing back and that, and it just doesn't work unless you sit absolutely dead still and you're only moving your head. It was just a nightmare. the cameras fucking going all over the place, and for people trying to watch the stream, it was making them ill. It was making them motion sick. So I was like, yeah, Track IR's not for me. I would much prefer, if I was going to play anything, I would want to play VR. I would want VR, I think, rather than head tracking. Because then it doesn't matter if I'm moving around in my chair and fidgeting, because the view is still here, you know. But of course, Farm Sim doesn't have any VR functionality, and according to Giants, probably will never have VR because it requires you to build a whole engine that supports VR. And you have to build the game with VR in mind. It's not just something you can patch in or add in. It's got to be built from the ground up. So it's not on their it's not one of their priorities. But VR is something that I imagine would be how I kind of play the game. On my PlayStation 4, I had PlayStation VR. And even though Farm Sim is not a VR game, I did play FS19 on PlayStation with the VR headset, and that was quite nice. That was quite nice. Because again, if I was moving around and fidgeting, trying to get comfortable, the screen was always in front of my eyes, you know. The screen never moved. I could actually lay down and play the game. You know? Whereas if I recline my chair back, my chair back and I lay down, I can't see the monitor. Unless you mount the monitor on the ceiling, I wouldn't be able to play the game. Whereas with the VR headset, that was fine. But obviously, I didn't play Farm Sim FS19 on the PlayStation for very long. I literally just played it until I'd got all the achievements, and then I never played it again, because obviously all the best mods and stuff were on PC, and it was, you know, for all my recording and stuff, it's easier for me to do it on PC. I didn't need to be mucking about. Looks like we've missed a bit again. Or is there just some parts of this field that don't get worked correctly? This is supposed to be a direct drill, so it shouldn't matter whether I've ploughed or cultivated the field. It should be able to seed it. 5-minute timeout? Was it 5? I didn't think it was 5 minutes. I thought it was 30 seconds. It said 30 seconds on my screen. Oh, was it for the dots? Then after you did the 1.4 ... in your message. I need to have a look at. I'll have to have a look at that and change that after the stream, because yeah, that's harsh. As I say, I never used Stream Element. I've never used Stream Elements before last year. The reason I used Stream Elements was because after my after I had to reformat my computer late last year, the little I had a program on my PC that did all the chat monitoring and stuff. I lost that program and I lost all the settings, so unfortunately I had to use one of these online. I had to sign up for one of these online sites to manage it all instead, to manage the channel instead. And I don't really know how the settings work. They seem very, very strict. I mean, obviously I don't want people coming into the channel and posting any rubbish, but at the same time I don't want my actual genuine followers and subscribers to be punished for just having normal conversations. So I will look into that, John, and get that fixed for the next stream. You're off to get breakfast because it's early there. No worries, John. You go get your breakfast. It's middle of the afternoon for me. It's almost time for 3 o'clock tea break. 3 PM tea break time coming up in 25 minutes. I'm looking forward to tea break. I've got a lovely cup of tea here ready. So yeah, it does seem like, because I'm seeding across the slope, it's missing bits. I probably need to increase the overlap. I've got to try and remember to increase the amount of overlap, because the way tools work in the engine, the tools don't follow the contour of the slope, they just work vertically. So when you're driving on a slope, they actually work smaller than their actual width. Because like you can actually see now, as I'm driving up this slope, there's a bit of a gap. I mean, it looks like I'm getting the field, but obviously I probably wanted to overlap a bit more there. It's strange that I've also got the little sugar beet bits still. That's a bit weird. I'm guessing when I do the ploughing around the field and redo the edges and everything. Jose Vane, I think that was, has just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you for the subscription, Jose. Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're not already doing so, maybe come and give me a follow here on Twitch. Then you can always catch me live when I'm streaming. And you get to chat to me at the same time and, you know, be a part of my streams. Be a part of my content, you know. The only thing I'm a little bit disappointed about with my tutorial video for the paintable fields is that I forgot to change the profile in OBS. I didn't realise that I'd left it on the streaming profile and scene that I'm using now. So I recorded that tutorial using basically what you guys are seeing, which means I didn't record it in my normal 4K profile. It wasn't till after I'd recorded it all and I looked at the file on the hard disk, I was like, that seems a very small file size for a 20 odd minute video. Because it was like literally just like 1.3 gig or 1.5 gig. And normally when I record an episode of Farm Sim for YouTube, those videos are like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and they're normally 30 or 40 gigabytes in size. And I was like, something a bit odd there. So of course I checked the video and realised I'd only recorded it at 1080. And I was like, crap. Do I try and re-record the whole thing again on the right profile? Or do I see if my editing software can actually upscale and render it at 4K? And it did I think it did an okay job. It's not perfect. I looked at the video myself and thought, it seems like the web browser and everything's gone a little bit dark. It's not quite as bright and vibrant as it would have been. Or say it's not quite as vibrant and bright as it is in the original video. And it's not quite as bright and vibrant as it would have been in the native 4K recording. And I also think that the text looks a little bit soft and not quite as defined. But like I say, I hope it's still good enough that everybody gets the gist and can see what to do. I mean, if not, I will re-record it. I will be happy to re-record it in 4K if you need me to, in native 4K and stuff, and maybe blow up the desktop a little bit and zoom in a little bit on the XML files and when I'm doing the editing and stuff. But yeah, OBS was already open on my PC from streaming the night before, and I just went in and hit the record button, completely didn't think about the fact I use different profiles for different things. Like I have a separate streaming profile to recording profile, and even some games like Football Manager I use a completely different profile for Football Manager than I do for Farm Sim and normal streaming. And then obviously I set up the Christmas profile for when I was doing my Christmas streams last year with all the Christmas graphics and stuff. So yeah, my bad, I didn't change the profile. So I recorded the video at 1080, then tried to fix it in post. Like I say, I think I got away with it. I think it looks okay. Thought I could maybe lower it, the dots a little bit closer to the ground, but or what I should do with the dots is maybe make them put them above the tractor. So yeah, you can kind of see actually why you end up that's probably a good example and shows you why you miss bits on sloped fields. Because the tractor's not actually on that centre line, is it? I don't have an offset. But again, I guess the GPS is configured to work on a flat, and as soon as you introduce a slope to the mix, it throws everything out of whack. So yeah, you kind of need to pay attention to that on slopey fields and hilly fields. If I was working up the slope that way, if I was working left to right on the field, wouldn't be a problem because you're working up the slope. The angle doesn't change. You're still level.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Right, as soon as we've done this field, There's not a lot else for me to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go and forward time. I'm going to forward 1 day into the future. See if we've got any... Ah, no, actually, the cultivating contract for Field 11 is here. So actually, we'll go do some cultivating after this on the field that I harvested earlier. I was going to say, if the contract wasn't there, if I advanced till June the 4th, the contract would have appeared. I could have done the contract on June the 4th, and then I've only got 1 day left in the month before we head into July, and obviously, hopefully get some more harvesting to do, and some more fields to interact with. But seeing as the contract is there today, I might as well do it now, and then I could just forward 2 days and leap into July. I'm not going to mess with the productions today. I'm not going to look at any of the production buildings, any of that stuff. I'm not going to sell anything. I'm just going to let them all work. They're all filled up as far as I know. If we've got the stuff to fill them. So yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Crazy how those 2 lines haven't disappeared. But to me, the field looks perfectly seeded, so I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I don't know how it thinks I haven't seeded. Especially as I'm using a direct drill, which should remove anything that's on that field. And all the sugar beets were harvested. So it's not like there's still plants growing on that field. So I don't get that. But like I say, that edge of the field is probably going to disappear anyway. Because when I replow the edges and do the rounded edges, the field's going to shrink a little bit. Because when I come to plough it, I will do so with the plough set to a positive value for the field margin. So it actually comes inside the field. Right. I need to cultivate, which means I'm going to have to go grab the Magnum. Now's a good time to maybe think about putting some fuel in it then. I've got all them pallets of liquid fertiliser in that unit. I never use liquid fertiliser, folks. take the speed tiller. Speed tiller's a good tool. Of course, in July we'll probably have the grass to mow again. We will. Can't remember if I said last week I was just going to do hay on both fields. I've got a feeling that was my plan. We're going to need a lot more hay with 2 lots of cows. And of course the sheep. And of course, everybody's looking forward to Friday because second season of Clarkson's Farm is out on Friday on Amazon Prime. Friday, I'm not planning on doing any recording because I'm going to be sat down watching the telly all day, glued to the telly watching the whole series in one go, and then I'll be streaming Friday night. Right, it's nearly 3 o'clock. It's near enough for me to have a drink for a few minutes. Good to stay hydrated. Important to stay hydrated, should I say. I tell you what, it has been very warm today for a February day. I'm actually perspiring a little bit. I know I've got this flannel shirt on, but it's not like it's super warm and thick or anything. But I noticed it even when I went into town earlier, just sat in the car. I was like, I'm bloody sweating here. So today's obviously particularly warm. You notice there the Giant's helper again stopped working at the end of that row. I hired him to do that row whilst I was having my drink, and he got to the end of the row and just then stalled, sat there. So I don't know what's going on with that either, and why that keeps happening. And then, of course, this weekend, and, well, next week, really, I've got 3 football matches next week to go to. 3 home games on the trot for the local team. Got Saturday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and Saturday afternoon. Which is just fucking ridiculous and insane, really. And of course, tonight should be Manchester United versus Leeds in the Premier League here in the UK. But for some weird reason, no UK broadcaster or TV company is showing the match. So I'm going to have a hunt round on the internet tonight and find one of those illegal streams that everybody keeps talking about. That they're trying to clamp down on and stop people in the UK from watching. But I'm like, if you want to stop people in the UK from watching streams, perhaps you should actually show the flipping stuff then on the telly so people can watch it. It's ridiculous. And it's the first of 2 back-to-back fixtures with Leeds tonight, because we play them tonight and then we play them on Sunday afternoon. And the match on Sunday is on the telly. So you think to yourself, what's the freaking difference? You can show one match, why not show the other one? There's no other matches tonight anywhere in the Premier League. There's no cup matches or anything that they're showing it instead of. So it's fucking stupid. Yeah, if I got on a plane and flew to Spain this afternoon, I can watch it perfectly fine in Spain. You know, I could go find a bar in Spain and sit there and watch the match. But it seems a bit of a, you know, bit of a long way round it to watch my own team, the club I support. I need one of the American people that has access to the game to stream it in my Discord so I can watch it through them. That would be the best way of doing it. Any of the Americans with catch-up TV on their computer or whatever who can access the Premiership game, if you want to drop a stream in the Discord channel, stream your screen in my Discord, that would be fantastic. The whole family can sit round the iPad and cheer on the Reds tonight. Because, of course, the only problem with the streaming sites is they're so full of pop-ups and adverts and stuff. It's not too bad watching it on my PCN, because obviously I put my VPN on and then I put all my ad blocker and everything on. So it's not a terrible interruption, but obviously on my iPad or my phone, every time you click a link or a button, fucking pop-ups and ads and shit. It gets annoying. But obviously I won't be able to watch the game on my PC tonight if I'm playing Hogwarts. That's the problem. So I would need the stream on my phone, so obviously then I can see the Twitch chat and everything on my iPad. So I'd have to have, like, because obviously I don't have multi-monitor, unfortunately. I just have one big 4K massive screen for my PC. I'm not like one of these nerds that has like 3 or 4 monitors. around them. I don't have space for it. Because of course I use my big monitor as also my own personal TV and stuff. I wouldn't want to sit trying to watch TV and movies on a little 24-inch screen or something monitor. I prefer to watch TV and stuff on a proper screen. So there's that. I did think though, earlier on in the year, certainly after Christmas, in like the Boxing Day, New Year sales that Twitch had, and then when Twitch recently had one of their Prime Day sale things, I thought about getting a little portable monitor, like a little 13-inch one or something, that I could plug into my graphics card and run as a second screen via USB-C. But I don't know anybody who's got one of them who can, you know, give me any feedback or a review on them, really. Because again, when I go on Amazon and have a look at the the little portable monitors and stuff, they're all like foreign makes that you've never heard of, foreign brands that you've never heard of. There's no like standout, you know, company names that you'd know, like LG or Samsung or anything like that. They're all like weird Japanese names or Chinese names and stuff, which makes me a bit suspicious of the quality straight away. And then when you look at the reviews, it's all by people who have like, oh, I received this product for free. And you think, well, yeah, how trustworthy is the review of something you got given for free? You know, it's almost like, hey, if you leave us a good review, 5-star review, we'll send you one of these. And it's like, well, kind of sways the rankings a bit. And I don't see any reviews on a lot of them from normal people who have actually paid and bought one. So they make me a little bit wary and a little bit suspicious of spending, like, you know, 200 quid on one. But I definitely could have a little monitor set up on my desk as a second screen, which would be quite useful. And then I wouldn't need to bother with the iPad or the phone when I'm twitching. When I'm getting twitchy. You know? But one of the things I want to do this year at some point is upgrade to a better camera, a better webcam. I want a better camera for recording, because the webcam looks a bit crap at times in some of the videos I notice. Whether it's a focusing thing or something, it doesn't look all that amazing compared to some videos I watch on YouTube and that, where the people look really, you know, the picture looks really sharp and good. I especially notice if I make the camera image bigger, like make it full screen, it doesn't look very nice at all. So I want to try and get a better camera. I've got a Logitech webcam at the minute. I want something better than that. I do. You know, I'm playing the game in 4K. I'm recording my games in 4K. I really should probably have a 4K camera. So that I'm in 4K. Although that might be frightening to some viewers. I'd probably have to put an advisory warning. Some images may be unsuitable for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. But yeah, we cultivate this field, get another 116 grand out of the farmer. We get another 5% discount off of any future fields. So that will save us 10% when we come to buy this land. And like I say, we've pretty much worked through the day. Be interesting to see if there's any cool new mods out today. As well on the mod hub this afternoon. It's been a few days since I've really seen anything that's caught my eye when I've been browsing. There's nothing really been, for me, stand out. Oh, I need to download that and give it a go kind of thing. Yeah. That field is done. Contract complete. Yeah, there is a harvesting contract on field 26, but I'm not in a rush to do that. I'd rather focus on my own stuff in the interim. I think what we're going to do now, we're going to fast forward time, and we're going to go get into July. Good thing about having 5 day months, it does give me extra time, so should we need it later on or early next year when we've got loads of ploughing and seeding and got all the seeding and stuff to do, it gives me the time needed to do that. But at the same time, here in this time of year, I can have a bit of I've got a bit of flexibility. I'm not, you know, I've got extra days if I need it, but if I've got the work done, I can just advance. We can just advance things forward. As I say, the animals are well taken care of. I don't need to give them any food and stuff. The pigs might have wanted a little bit of straw, but they've got 214,000 litres. Everything's building up. What about milk? Milk, 158,000. 118,000. I can't remember if... did I fill the dairy last time round? I bought a dairy, didn't I? I thought... Oh, we was going to move some and put in there, which I did. Might be putting some more in there then. Ah, we need some milk at the bakery. Do. And we need some more at the dairy. So we can do that as well in July. Not going to matter much. No point doing it now. June 5th. And then one more skip and we are into July. Oh, look at you raining on me. Why does it always rain on me? I don't know, but we're going to get past that. And we're going to head into July. Right, here we are then. 1st of July. Quick look. No new animals. Oh, no, we may have got some cows. 2 months ago. Got some new piggies. We've got 1,200 piggies. Go and get rid of. Oh no, we've got more than 1,200 piggies. We've got 2,400 piggies to go and get rid of this month. Nice. No new chickens. And there are no sheeps. That's fine. Okay, there is a big harvest of triticale. And we've still got the rye harvest available if we need it. Weather is good until the end of the month. Then there's a chance of rain. Harvest wise, we should have wheat, canola and oats available now. If we go and look at our farm, we are ready to harvest on field 5, which is our triticale. We are ready to harvest on field 1. And both of our grass fields are ready to mow. Okay then, just thinking to myself. Just having a think. If we was to mow with that header, we would get instant hay produced. But it only mows at 4 meters, so there'll be tons of rows to pick up. If we mowed with the big header, we could then do the tedding with that, but then we would need to do windrowing separately, wouldn't we? And I can't remember if I've got a windrower. I don't have a windrower. I might as well because I've got a bit of money, pay for some of this stuff that I've got leased, so I'm not constantly paying for leasing. Just have a quick look through the second-hand stuff today before we get started. Don't think there's a great need. I don't think there's anything there I particularly want to buy. Right, so we've got harvesting available to us. We've got some animals, some new animals this month. Oh my God. My pen's full. My manure pen is very full. I need to get back here. Just filling these up nicely. I think one of the buildings I was going to add, which will be on that field 11 land area, was possibly going to be, was it the sugar mill? Because I've got all these pallets of honey that I'm not doing anything with, and I could actually use some of the honey to make some sugar, which I could then be dispatching to other factories that need the sugar now. Because obviously I'm not going to get sugar till I harvest sugar beets later in the year. Otherwise, and even still, I'm going to need a sugar mill at that point to turn the sugar beets into sugar. So the longer I wait to put a sugar mill down, I know I could buy Stevie's sugar mill, the one on the map, but that again only handles the normal base game recipes, so I can't do the honey into like I can with DD's. DD's sugar mill lets me convert honey into sugar. Well, that was a bit dumb one, isn't it? I've just loaded up a load of manure from my silo. Not the cow, the actual, where all the cow and pig stuff's going. My overflow, manure overflow tank. This is the manure mixer, by the way. This makes manure. If you've got slurry and straw, it also acts as a manure silo. So I can distribute, have the manure automatically distributed to like my orchards, my greenhouses, and things like that. So I don't have to constantly be transporting manure all the time. But I do have to empty the cow pen here. I mean, I could have auto drive do it, I suppose. I could set up an auto drive route. And he would run around and move all the manure from there to the manure place. I'll tell you what, when we get that third cow pen up and running, boy, are we going to have a load of stuff. Right. So, harvesting next then. And like I said, on my fields, I want to use coarse play. If I do. Not so much for the, like, grain carting and that, but certainly I want the harvester to use coarse play. So then I can steal the course from the harvester and use it with the use it with the loading wagon, can't I? I'll just top this up with fuel because obviously we've got 2 fields to do, and field, I think it's field 10 is quite big. So I want to get all the stuff harvested. Oh, it's moving. Don't park the header trailer on a slope. Right. This is going to be field 5 then. Right, we're doing 13.5. We're not going to do any headlands. We're just going to go straight up and down the field. A little bit bigger. Right, we will save that as field 5. Field 5, 14 metre harvest. We'll be able to use that then with the loady wagon. We'll also be able to do the self-unloading thing. So we can leave him there. We might need the tanker. Just to do some slurry moving and then milk moving. Right, what we do with this then? We load that course. Amazingly, I can move the tool offset. But last night when I wanted to do ploughing on Maypole, I couldn't move. I didn't have control over the offsets. Yet on this map, with this loading wagon, I can. That's a confusing thing. That's weird. So field 5. Let me check. First waypoint is enabled. Yeah. Course play is enabled. Off you go. I will have to check if when I've got a plough connected whether I get that offset adjustment thing. Because John knows I did not have that last night on Maypole when I was connecting up to ploughs. I could not impact at all the vertical offset on any piece of equipment. So is that something that you can do in single player but can't do in... Is that like a multiplayer limitation maybe of course play? It is possible to do it in single player but not multiplayer? We've got a lot of slurry here. We got a lot of slurry, boys. Maybe what I should think of doing, if we're going to have all this slurry available to us, is maybe I think about getting a slurry spreader for doing fertilizing. Use the slurry, and then I'm not paying for fertilizer. And then we could make out that all our products are organic, and then we can charge more for them. We can whack an extra $5 on the price of everything because it's organic. Mr. Sneaky's playing Factorio. He loves his Factorio, does Mr. Sneaky. Mr. Sneaky. He loves his Factorio. He's played that game for about 10,000 hours, John. He tried to teach me how to play the game. I've got the game and created a multiplayer game for him to come and play with me to teach me how to play the game. But because he's played like 10,000 hours, he was doing things that fast and just stuff was appearing on the screen. I couldn't follow what he was doing and what was going on, and it just left me more confused. I was like, nope. Unlike Dyson Sphere, which I really have been able to figure out and master Factorio, I was alright at the basic bit with the mining and stuff, but once it got into the whole fluid systems and stuff, that just, I couldn't be doing with that. I also didn't like the fact that there was like creatures on the maps that attack you and destroy your stuff all the time and kill you. I didn't find it very enjoyable playing Factorio. It wasn't as relaxing and as stress-free as Dyson Sphere. Dyson Sphere is a nice building game and tests your brain, gets you thinking. I like that game. I like those types of games. But yeah, Factorio for me, it didn't have enough tutorials to teach you the basic mechanics of the game if you was a new player, and I don't think it still does. Even though it's out of early access and stuff now, I still don't think it's got any like tutorial mode. So it's not very noob friendly. A nice bit of milk as well. Piling up. Like I say, we need to go and do the dairy at some point. Hey, look! There goes Mr. Loading Wagon. I love it when it works perfectly. Course play and auto drive working hand in hand. I love it when it's running and running smoothly. I don't love it so much when it's giving me headaches, complicating things. Right, I'll fill up the long life milk containers, and then I'll go sort out. I will sort out the other the other cow pen a little bit later. I want to go back to the field. I do, really. I want to keep my eye on the tractors if I can. See, that's what happens. He wants to go to his little starting point place. And I'm kind of parked in the way. Combine coming to do his auto unloading. It's first time unloading. course, this is right now we're harvesting triticale, which is one of the Stevie added crops on the map. So this stuff we will just be selling. I don't think we've got any use for it in any of our productions. We can't use it in obviously any of the Dragon's Den productions because obviously he won't have catered for that. Now, which of my... one's the dairy? That's the dairy. We'll take a load of milk up to the dairy. Reject's now playing Hogwarts Legacy. It's a good game, Reject. It's a good game. Like I say, I'm looking forward to having a go at it later on tonight, this evening. Getting a few hours played in it. And of course, like I said, we've got the animals to move at some point as well this month. We've got 2,400 pigs to move. Wow. Couldn't empty all of my milk. That's not very good. So how should I cut the grass then, people? Should I do it with the conditioner on the mower? Or should I do it with the grass header and then do the tedding separate and the windrowing separate? Yeah, I want don't repair on, don't I? No. Well, the both options are with the swather pack. John, both options are with the swather pack. So no, I can't do vertical offset with the plough. That's weird. Like I say, I need to ask the Courseplay guys about that. I need to check that. No, the option is I could mow the grass fields using the 9-metre header and get grass, which I could then ted separately, windrow separately, and then collect as hay. Or the other option is to use the conditioning header, mow the field at 4 metres, but you're producing hay at that same time. So I won't need to do tedding and windrowing, but I will have loads of 4-metre rows of hay to collect after the mower has finished. So it's a case of yeah, 4-metre hay versus 9-metre grass. And with that, I'm getting hay in one pass of the mower. Whereas if I did 9 metres, I would need to do tedding and I would need to do windrowing and then finally collecting. Could do silo 9-metre grass to hay. That, of course, is the other option, isn't it? That, of course, is the other option. I forgot about that. Thank you, John. I've got my silos, haven't I? Why wouldn't I just send it to the silo and have it turned into hay? I want my Valtra. That's what I want. Just, again, out of curiosity now. If I hook up to that cultivator, full offset vertical. I wonder if it's only with ploughs then. There's something not right with ploughs in the game. Yeah, that's weird. That is. Yeah, that to me seems like an oversight with ploughs. Because I think I reckon it's either disabled or they forgot to add it to ploughs as an option. But I think it should be there. I will definitely ask them about that, John. I will do that. After the stream tonight, I will definitely do that. I got distracted last night after I finished. As soon as I finished streaming last night, I got completely distracted because it popped up on the street. It popped up in the corner of the screen that Hogwarts had finished installing, and I was like, oh, quick, let me go and play that for a couple of hours before it gets too late. And I never got round to checking in with the courseplay guys. Right, you pal. This is... which field? Field 19. I haven't got a field 19 rolling yet. Set up. Do I not roll field 19? Seems a bit odd. I would have thought. I'd have harvested field 19. Rolled this field after I'd harvested it. I think I've got the... yeah, I've remembered to install and activate the Vermeer roller pack, so I could have one roller that does both field rolling and grass rolling, like I use on Maypole. But I could have the big version on here, 11 meters, which would be better when I'm rolling. I've also obviously got the Mandako, but that's for field rolling. That's not for grassland rolling. See, Stevie's only got the little 6-meter rollers for doing grass, whereas an 11-meter roller for doing grass will be much, much nicer. He's heading back to the field. Combine harvester is doing its due diligence. I'm going to quickly grab a thumbnail for the screenshot before I forget. So after we've done this field, which is here, we need to then come all the way down the bottom and do field 10. No, we don't. No, we don't, because field 10's not ready yet. We do field 1 next, which is right next to the farm. We ignore field 3 and 4 because that's oilseed radish. Don't harvest that. And obviously we're in the process of mowing right now. I almost could do with a slightly bigger loading wagon, actually. I know that sounds pretty crazy. I could go for one of Stevie's, but I'm not sure if Stevie has the modifies his to have the more generous pickup area or not. I think that's probably why I don't use any of Stevie's trailers, loading wagons, because I don't think he changes the pickup width on any of his. It's something I could probably edit myself. Because what I could do then is sell, if Stevie's pickup area was as generous as the one on that machine, I could get 2 of Stevie's. I could sell that one and then have 2 of Stevie's, and then I've got one for doing grass whilst one is doing straw. Because right now I'm a bit limited. I'm a bit limited because obviously I'm going to need the loading wagon to do the straw on this field. I'm going to need it to do the straw on field 1. And then it's going to go and have to start collecting the grass. Maybe I should bale the grass instead. Maybe I should bale it and then take the bales to the dryer, the silo, the grass silo. Because then I wouldn't be waiting on the loading wagon then. Trailer 123 can do bales. Yeah, the train can, the bale train can. Yeah, the train, the road train can do bales. I could load bales on all 3 trailers. I think I've also, I don't know if is that trailer that you sent me? Can that trailer that you sent me also do bales? Or not. Where is it? I have it installed. Because if that one uses the auto-load specialization mod, it should do bales. It should be able to do bales. Just looking for it. I know I installed it. I activated it. That one. The big bubba. That thing. You can have lots of wheel options. $114 pallets. Maybe it just does pallets then. I love the fact that the trailer actually curves. It's not flat. Can't watch. I thought there was going to be a big crash then. I think harvester's finished. Field 1, we must now go. Field 1, Field 1, Field 1, we go. Field 1, Field 1. Right, what we do now, of course, is come in here, go great job, field position, start in that corner, same settings as last time, course play harvesting, save course, activate, field 1, 14 meter harvest. And then we let this guy go. We let him run off and start. Oh, no, stop. Why does the combine close up? Because that causes me problems sometimes when course pay closes up the harvester, because then it doesn't unload. And if you then try to unfold it, it tells you can't fold this vehicle whilst full. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to fold it up, I'm trying to unfold it out. So I can put the auger out, you know? And empty the bloody thing. I don't know how Horseplay is even able to harvest with the harvester closed, but it does. That seems like a bit of a bug to me, and a bit of a glitch that needs to be fixed. That's rye, not triticale. Sorry, my bad. I've got some rye. That's fine, I'll leave that there for now. Yeah, I could do bales. Could do baling. That is an option. The other thing is, I can't really use the voucher. I'd have to use that to do the baling. Tell you what, let me take the header down to the other field. Take the header trailer down to the other field. I can leave the header trailer down there, go get the baler, and we can start baling the grass. Or is that going to cause a problem because the baler is obviously going to wrap the bales, isn't it? And then they're going to start fermenting into silage. I don't want silage, I want hay. I might have to wait. I might just have to wait for the loading wagon. I know that's not ideal. Collect the grass. But we've got a whole month. We've got the whole of July to do it. So I would sooner wait. I'd rather not muck about baling the field and then find out I can't use the bales for hay because they are wrapped and are being turned into silage. So I'm going to wait for that thing. I need to wait for that. Right, what we can't plant anything in July apart from oilseed radish and alfalfa. So these fields will be oilseed radished after they have been harvested and had the straw collected off them. These fields will be oil seeded. Right. Suppose we could go get some pigs whilst everybody else is driving around harvesting and everything. We can go get some of our newborn piggies and make them into sausages. Right, I can move 50 at a time, pigs. Is it the cows that I can only move in 36s then? These little piggies went a market. These little piggies don't wee 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 all the way home. Because these little piggies are going to be bacon tomorrow. Little piggies. That's 100. So basically I've got to make 12 trips, haven't I? 12 trips for each pig pen. Get rid of all the new pigs. Out of curiosity, how much stuff have we actually got in the pigs? We've got 608 chickens still. We've got 277 pigs. We haven't got any sheep. And we haven't got any cows in it. Well, we've got one cow, sorry. Oh, the controller's gone off. Uh-oh. I think my batteries have just died, ladies and gents. When did I last change my batteries in the controller? I should do it every Wednesday, really. Then it wouldn't be a problem, would it? Now they're charging. And these ones are fully charged. I'm not sure you can. I don't think you can move animals with auto drive, can you? I don't think. Might be a case, you know, that if the pig capacity is only 1,000 litres, with my version of the mod, I won't be able to put all the pigs in the factory, will I? I'll only be able to empty like one and a bit pens, one pen, less than 1 pen. No, it seems like I've increased the capacity, so I've got plenty of room for all my pigs. That's okay then. I can get them moved in my own time. I'll save the harvester a bit of time and move him slightly easier position. We're going very well, ladies and gents. We are going excellently well. Mr. Lodi Wagon. Mr. Lodi Wagon. Mr. Harvester Man is harvesting. See, well, it's starting to get dark again now. 10 to 5. The sun is slowly falling away outside. Sunset. I have to put the light on now, look. I have to put my lamp on. That tends to mess up the auto tracking in NVIDIA Broadcast for a second or two while it adjusts to the change in lighting and manages to relocate my face. Dun, dun. Now, nice big oat harvest. Can't remember what I need oats for. What am I going to be using oats in? Any of my productions need oats? Because I'm not doing horses, so I don't need them for food. I'm not doing cereals. So I don't need them for cereals. Good question, really, isn't it? I could make flour out of the oats, I suppose. Flour would be handy to have in productions. In some of my, like my bakery and that. And yeah, I might use make some oat flour. What did I need for making beer? Barley. I needed barley for making beer. I've got some barley. I have. So I must take some barley to the wine factory. Next stream. Because I'm probably going to end this stream at 5 o'clock tonight. The reason for ending it a little bit earlier is because I've got midweek roast for dinner tonight. And I don't want to let that go cold. I've got Christmas dinner for dinner tonight, ladies and gents. I'm going to get the mint sauce slapped on the plate. I'm going to get the cranberry sauce chucked on the plate. I'm going to get the apple sauce chucked on the plate. I'm going to get everything mixed together. And then I'm just going to put my face in it and go nom 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 nom. I am. Got roast chicken for dinner tonight. Love it. Love it. Might even have a nice bottle of Hawkstone lager afterwards to wash it down. Whilst I watch the football. Bit of Clarkson's beer. I need to actually order some more of that. I must remember to go and order some of that. I need another case or two for the coming year. If I order a case of 24 bottles, that will last me till Christmas. Because I'm not a drinker. I'm not a big drinker. I might have a bottle once in a blue moon. So... and I might get a case of cider as well. I'm not sure about the cow juice vodka. Whilst I don't mind the occasional vodka and coke in the past, I'm not sure about cow juice vodka. That seems a little bit strange to me. That does. Hey, imagine if mod makers did that. Changed it so that on the cow pens, you could have a modded cow pen where not only do you get milk produced, but you also get vodka. And then you have the option of selling one or both. Cows would become a lot more profitable, wouldn't they? Hey? Tell you what I'm going to do as well. Just whilst I'm here, I know I said I wasn't really too fussed about these pens. But it would be nice to be able to actually see my cows, wouldn't it? Be nice to be able to see my animals in their natural environment. So, and I'm never gonna mow the grass in these pens. Good afternoon, John. Is it afternoon for you now? you finally catching up with everybody. Maps are getting bigger, but the tool mods are not getting bigger. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with that. On the paintable field mod, the fact you can't make the tools bigger makes those paintable fields a little bit more more awkward to make. I thought you'd been posting since that ban, John, because you was talking about the plows a little while ago. Now I need to fix the bodge up that I've just made. That one? No, I don't think it was that one. No, it's not that one. Might be that one. Well, that still doesn't look right. Must be that one. Just doesn't look like it. That just does, to me, doesn't look like it matches up to me. Looks like a different texture. Riverbed's too dark. Not grassy. Not. Must be that one. You have finished. Well done. It's a good day when we get less than a dozen 4-metre ploughs in one day. 4-metre ploughs. We don't need that course anymore. We'll be able to start him collecting the grass on field 1 next. Sorry, not the grass, the straw on field 1. And look, I can now see my cows. My lovely cows. Didn't see a 4X map coming on Mod Hub. Is there a 4X map on the Mod Hub? Have the mods dropped today on the Mod Hub? Because I've not checked today. What's been released? Prairie Farm, Michigan 4X by Taylor Farms. There was a standard version of this map release a few weeks ago, wasn't there? Now there's a 4X version. Cool. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot on the map, though. Looks a bit empty. It's nearly all fields. It's nearly basically all field from the PDA preview. What else have we got? The Lizard Robust 480. What is that? Doesn't tell me what it does. Is it a roller? Is it? Because it's just listed as miscellaneous. Doesn't tell me what that is. That's a weird mod. That needs a bit more of a description. Eastern North Carolina map has had an update. That's made by the same author who does my New Jersey map. That was one of the maps I gave Mr. Helgi the option of choosing for multiplayer, but he decided to go with Maypole. He did. He decided to go with Maypole Farm instead, even though obviously the New Jersey map is based on a real area. Not New Jersey, Eastern North Carolina, because it's based on an actual Google map of the area. But Mr. Helgi didn't want to play that. Seems like there's been quite a few mod updates as well recently. Yeah, I tell you what, 4X map. Prairie Farms, Michigan 4X. Ranging from massive to insane. The fields, consisting of a total of 3,875 acres. I'm sure I've seen I'm sure I've seen the standard version of that map. Because I commented about the bale wrap on the balers had the American flag texture. And there's a sugar beet building which gives you something called tear dirt, which you can use as like a fertilizer. I think it's a fertilizer. You can dump it on fields apparently. I imagine that's a good map for people who want to do like a Welker Farms or Millennial Farmer style playthrough. Kind of series. Where you're literally just driving fields for hours upon hours. Because like I say, there doesn't seem to be any like town. There's no like built up areas where there's going to be loads of sell points and stuff on that map looking at it. So I'm going to guess it's literally just all about field work. And look, my harvest is finished. So that's another 2 fields we've got harvested today then, ladies and gents. We are doing good. We are doing good. Take my JCB, empty that in the silo, and took over 2.5 hours to plough and lime a field. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know that, Orion. Because when I was testing the map for Stevie, I had to plough every single field on the map. I had to cultivate every single field on the map. I had to seed every single field on the map. And I had to harvest every field on the map. So I understand how long it takes per field. It took me a whole week to do that. A whole week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I finished about Friday lunchtime and Stevie released the map Friday night. So yeah. I know how long it takes to work the fields on Stevie's map. It's the empty one, like where you have to plough in the fields. Well, yeah. Depending, obviously, how big you've made the fields. That's going to take you a long time. That's why the paintable field mod works really well on that open map. Saves you a lot of time ploughing. You still have to lime, but it saves you a lot of time ploughing. Right, I'm going to start the mower off on field 9. And then I am going to end the stream at that point, ladies and gents. I'm going to go get my dinner. I thank everybody who has tuned into the stream today. You've made it fun, as ever. John and Orion, thank you for being in the chat and keeping me sane for the afternoon. To all those of you that have thanked me for the video on the Hills View map and the paintable field mod video, thank you as well. Appreciate that. I'm glad the videos have helped you and you've enjoyed them. Obviously I will be back streaming Farm Sim tomorrow evening on the server, and obviously I'll be back here on Ringwoods next Wednesday, which should be okay. I will have to go to the dentist next Wednesday morning, but hopefully I should be back in the afternoon. And I'm not planning on having any work done, so I should be able to fully speak and communicate on the stream next week without any issues. So yeah, we'll get this mowed. Next week then, when we come back, we will need to get all this grass collected, hay dried, and then we can start getting oilseed radish chucked on the fields that I've harvested today. So field 5, field 1, and then we'll look at the productions. And like I say, we'll get the animals moved to the butcher, and then we'll go around and look at some of the other productions, because I know now we need to move barley, we need to do something with the oats. There's stuff and things to do, and no doubt we'll have loads of stuff to sell as well, because the wine factory has got some pallets of wine outside now, so I'd like to see how much money they make, and then we can go around and empty everything else. So that's what we'll be doing next week, everybody. But for this evening, I'm going to say now, thank you everybody, see you later, goodbye. And I've just realised I haven't even had the music on today, have I? So we've had a whole stream without any music. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'll catch you later everybody. Cheerio.